Hello friends, welcome to yet another session on UGC Net JRF English from Classics Audio. In this audio, we are going to give you a quick view on the structure of the Canterbury Tales written by Geoffrey Chaucer, the general prologue in particular, and a point-to-point description of every character trait of all major characters in the work. So, without wasting much time, let's get started. As far as Canterbury Tales is concerned, we know that it is the most celebrated work by Geoffrey Chaucer, extending to 17,000 lines, written in both verse and prose. So we cannot say that Canterbury Tales is written solely in prose or solely in verse. It is a mix of both. So what is Canterbury Tales is all about? We have a group of pilgrims. Here the number of pilgrims is important. We have 29 pilgrims altogether, and all of them are going to Canterbury, traveling to Canterbury in order to pay a visit to the tomb of Thomas Becket, the Archbishop of Canterbury. So in between the journey, all of them meet in an inn. Inn means a rest place or a rest house. So all these 29 pilgrims meet in a rest house or an inn, and the name of that inn is Tabard Inn, situated in Southwark. So they meet in Tabard Inn in Southwark. Now, we have a host there. In the inn, we have a host, and his name is Harry Bailey. So Harry Bailey, in order to make this journey interesting and enjoyable, Harry Bailey proposes a plan. What is that plan? Each pilgrim, we have 29 pilgrims altogether. So each pilgrim has to say 4 stories throughout the journey. So 2 stories on the way to Canterbury and 2 stories on the way back. So altogether each pilgrim has to tell 4 stories. So Harry Bailey decided to accompany them to Canterbury and pay heed to those stories. After their journey, when they return, Harry Bailey also proposes a reward to the best storyteller. What is the reward? A best supper. So he demands, or he proposes, a best supper to the best storyteller. So we have 29 pilgrims altogether, right? But as I've already said, this is an unfinished work. So we have only 23 pilgrims telling their stories, and we have a collection of 24 stories altogether. Though we had 29 pilgrims, only 23 pilgrims tell their stories, and we have a collection of 24 stories altogether. So Tales in Canterbury Tales constitutes the stories told by these pilgrims. Then, what is a general prologue to Canterbury Tales is all about? So, as I've been telling you, there are 29 pilgrims altogether. So, in the general prologue, Chaucer has given us detailed pen picture of 21 pilgrims out of these 29 pilgrims. So, the general prologue to Canterbury Tales constitutes detailed pen pictures or character sketches of 21 pilgrims out of this 29 pilgrims, and they are a part of different social order or different social classes. There are members from clergy, there are members from laymen, there are guildsmen. So he gives a detailed pen picture of 21 characters. So this is what constitutes the prologue to Canterbury Tales. Now we are going to analyze each and every important character trait of all the major characters provided by Chaucer. Okay, so this is very important in net point of view. So you should know who are the major characters and what are their important traits. So let's proceed. So let's start from the first character, that is Knight. So he possesses the highest rank in the group, and he is brave, worthy, honorable, chivalrous, and he has fought in 100 Years' War previously. He does not boast of his deeds. As he is old, he lacks liveliness. So these are the important character traits which you should remember as far as the knight is concerned. Then let's move to the second character, Squire. Squire is a son of this knight. So we have already said about knight. So we have Squire, the son of knight. And he is a ladies' man. That is, he's a lustful person. He sings songs. So he is a singer. And he composes melodies. He writes poetry and he writes well. He writes prose well. So he is a contrast to knight in character. Okay. So who stands as a contrast to knight in character and character is Squire. So now let's move to the third one. We have the yeoman. Yeoman is a servant to knight and Squire. So we have knight, his son Squire, and their servant yeoman. And about him, yeoman is dressed in green and he carries long bow. Okay. Now we have the next character, Prioress. Prioress is an important character as far as the general role is concerned, and she is accompanied by a nun or her chaplain. And the name of this prioress is Madame Eglantine. So Madame Eglantine is the name of this prioress. And what is so special about this prioress is that she wears a gold brooch in his hand. Okay, so she wears a gold brooch in her hand, and in that brooch there is an inscription. Okay, and that inscription is in Latin, and the English translation of that inscription is "Love conquers all." So she wears a golden brooch, and in that golden brooch there is an inscription inscribed in Latin, and the English translation is "Love conquers all." Though the inscription in that brooch is written in Latin, she speaks French. So the language which this prioress speak is French, but the language in which her golden brooch has inscribed is Latin. Right. Now we have, so she is a well-bred lady, mannerly, delicate, keep her clothes clean, eat neatly. So she is a very neat and clean lady. Now we have another character, Monk. He is an ironic character. He loves hunting, eats fine food, characterized by floppish clothes. He is fat, jolly and bald. He possesses a shaved head. So though he is a monk, he is jolly, he is fat, he eats fine food, he loves hunting. So that is why I have already said that he is an ironic character. And roasted swan was his favorite food. And he owns horses, dogs, whom he was proud. So he owns dogs and horses, and he was very proud that he possesses horses and dogs. Okay. Now we have the next character, the friar. The friar full name was Hubert. So the real name of Friar is Hubert. And he seduces young girls and arranges their marriages. Then spends most of the time in bars. And he has got the official license to beg. So he was an official beggar. Okay. And he always carries knives and pins with him. And he's a man who likes to play with the pity of people. That means he likes bribing, or he bribes. And he is an irreligious man. Now we have the next character, Merchant. Merchant is actually in debts, or actually in debt. He trades furs and clothes from Flanter. Shrewd, arrogant, boasting about profit, and he is illegal in dealing with foreign trade. Now we have the next character, Sergeant of Law. Sergeant of Law is a lawyer. He always pretends to be successful and busy. Now we have another character, Doctor. Doctor is a lover of gold. He loves gold. And he saved the income from Black Death. And he depends on astrology. So he is a believer in astrology. So we have been giving only the major points, point to point description, only the major points which will help you to crack questions in your exam. Now we are proceeding to the most important character, Wife of Bath. A very interesting character, and the name of Wife of Bath is Alison. Okay, by profession she is a weaver. And the most interesting thing is that he has already married, or she has already married 5 times. And now she is going to Canterbury to find her 6th husband. So apart from visiting the tomb of Thomas Becket, she is going to Canterbury to find her 6th husband. She possesses a white tooth apart and sexually appetite. Then she is refused to be dominated by men. Okay, she dislikes to be dominated by men in marriages, and she was a partially deaf lady. Okay, so deaf in one ear, partially deaf lady. Now we have the next character, Miller. Miller is a big, stout, brawny, broad, strong man. He is expert in wrestling, steals corn, and he possesses a red beard. Now we have the next character called Partner. He is good at singing, has a god voice. He is also good at preaching. He is a seller of paper. Then he fools people to make money, carries bags full of relics. So he is a greedy and hypocrite man. And now we have a couple of virtuous people. That is Plowman, the next character, and Parson. So why I am telling them together is that Plowman and Parson are brothers. So Plowman is a brother of Parson, and Plowman is very honest in his work and a virtuous man. Now we have Parson, brother of Plowman. Parson was very poor but holy and virtuous. So we have 2 noble characters, virtuous characters, Plowman and Parson there. Now we have the next important character, the Clerk of Oxford. He is a sincere student of philosophy at Oxford University. So that is why he is titled as the Clerk of Oxford. And he is devoted to the works of Aristotle. Poor, spends money on books as oblivious. Then, next we have the character called the Franklin. Franklin is a wealthy landowner. He is a lover of food and wine. Then he is compared, so Chaucer compares him to his character to Epicurus and Saint Julian. He possesses a white beard. He also possesses a ruddy complexion. Then he always carries a dagger and a tringlet bag of silk. Then he also served as the Justice of Peace and Member of Parliament. Now we have a group of people called the guildsmen. So guildsmen is a group of traders or merchants. So we have in that group haberdasher, dyer, carpenter, tapestry maker and viewer. Once again, haberdasher, dyer, carpenter, tapestry maker and weaver. Okay, so these people constitutes a group called guildsmen. Now we have the next character, cook. He is a cook to guildsmen. So we have these 5 people called guildsmen and we have a cook to these guildsmen. He is crusty sore on his leg. So there is a crusty sore on his leg. On whose leg? Cook's leg. Then we have the next character, the shipman. Shipman is huge, uncouth man. He is an expert sailor. He is a poor horse rider. He possesses brown skin. He steals wine in the ship when the captain sleeps. Okay. Now let's proceed to the next character, the manciple. Manciple works at the Inns of Courts. He is in charge of getting provisions for courts. And he is illiterate and smart. And he feeds 30 lawyers. Now let's come to the next character, the reeve. He works as a steward in an estate, a servant in an estate. He has a shaved head and a lean leg. Now let's come to the last but not the least important in importance, that is the summoner. He is the officer of the church, calls people for church trials. So he is in charge of calling people for church trials. He is unattractive, loves garlic. He possesses a bad breath when gets drunk. Okay, he possesses a bad breath when gets drunk. So on a view, he is a lecherous and morally corrupted person. Yes friends, we have completed with the major character traits of all the major characters in Canterbury Tales. So in the next section, we'll be proceeding further, detailing all the major tales in Canterbury Tales. So we have 23 people saying their tales and 24 tales altogether, out of which some tales are very important. Questions often come from those tales. They are the tale of knight, wife of Bath, parson, partner, physician and the nun's priest tale. So we'll be discussing all these tales in detail with a detailed summary in our upcoming audio. So till then, stay safe, stay happy, happy learning. So if you haven't subscribed this channel yet, please subscribe for new uploads. So all the videos that we have previously uploaded for UGC NET JRF exam can be accessed from the I button, which is in the right hand corner above the screen. So feel free to go through those audios also. So let's meet in another audio. Till then, thank you.